morning. We're working on pastoral counseling, and today we want to just continue the premarital counseling part of relationship counseling. Premarital counseling, the fact, I think that we just take care of some parts. So I want to just continue from this. For the premarital counseling, that is quite important. There is no perfect partner at all. You cannot find no one, okay? It's impossible to find perfect partner for you. There is none like that, okay? So you better give up to find your perfect partner at all. You don't even try to find it. There's nobody, okay? But you just fall in love, you like the person you like, okay? And you got blinded, so you don't see any negative things from your partner, even though you find some negative things from your partner, your future wife or husband. You will get married cause you got blinded, okay? Because you like the person, because you are falling in love with the person, okay? Congratulations, because lots of people can't find anybody they like, even though they like somebody and found somebody, but they're not gonna get married because marriage ratio is dropping down. So it's not easy to see, 30s, 40s single people. They don't want to get married. They don't want to take responsibilities. They don't want to have babies. They have to take responsibility on it. Okay? So, but if you find somebody you want to get married, that's a great thing. Actually, that's a great thing. You can live together, talk together, travel together, eat together, and you're gonna fight together also. Because again, there is no perfect partner at all. You have to try, and your partner have to try. So both people have to try their best to make better relationship every day, every moment, or you're gonna just fight. Okay, you're gonna sick and tired with the person because you're gonna have lots of problems with your partner because your partner is the person you spend the most of the time, a day, a month, a year. So the more, because you are not perfect partners there, or you are not perfect to your partner is not perfect to you. So the more time you spend with, the more chance you're gonna have a problem more. Okay? That's natural. If you are the perfect partner for your partner, then your partner will have no problem at all because you are perfect. If you have a perfect partner, you're not going to have any problem because your partner is perfect to you. But again, I'm just telling you, there is no perfect person to you, and so you're going to sick and tired on little things, on big things too. Usually people get tired with little things instead of with huge big problems. Definitely they're gonna get divorced or separated, or they're gonna get together stronger so that they can overcome the problems or hardships they are facing too. But anyways, well, do any big events and problems can couples separate? Yeah. But but when you have little problems every day, every moment, the little things like a little tiny label in your shoes, then you're gonna feel it. You're gonna comfortable. You still can walk. You still can walk. Okay, but you know the little tiny label is in your shoes and it's uncomfortable. It's a little thing. Okay, there's no reason you stop the traveling or something, but just still there. It bothers you every single time, and you got annoyed. You're gonna sick and tired with the label, okay? And you're gonna get exploded. So usually couples get sick, get sick and tired with the little things, okay? If you are kind of hugely rock on your partner's boots or shoes, you're gonna get rid of it. Okay, you're gonna be gotten rid of it by your partner. Okay, but little label, it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more tired things as time passes, and then partners get get separated and divorced later on. So before you get married, you have to see the reality. You have to understand your partner, what type of characters they have, what kind of backgrounds they had before, and how those past experiences affect your partner's current life. Same to you too. Okay. And then if you don't have time to understand that kind of things, and if you don't understand what kind of strengths and scratches in your relationship with your partners, then you're gonna get more stress. Because when something happened unexpectedly, you're gonna get more stress. But if you anticipate and expect, certain things, you're gonna get less stress than you expected that. Okay. So, premarital counseling is, providing, those couples can understand who they are. Okay. And what kind of strengths and scratches they have when they have, good, relationship with other people, their partners. And then you understand your partner's background and real life and type and characters, habits. Habits is killing people, okay? Your little habit, your little tiny, kind of looks like nothing. Little tiny habits can kill your partners. For example, you brush your teeth and you just gargle your mouth with the water and spit it out, right? I usually, after I spit something in the basin or vanity, I just, rinse it with water, with clean water, okay? But what if your partner just spit it and don't rinse it? You're gonna smell something bad later on. It's not stinky, but you smell something uncomfortable. unpleasant. Okay. There are famous examples for you know the toothpaste, right? Everybody knows about the toothpaste. This is really bad, cause people use the markers. If you know this much bad marker you use, you're not gonna put it back here. Cause next person like me gonna use it again, and I have to throw it away no matter what. Because people are kind of the whiteboard is not white anymore. So anyways, so toothpaste, again, what the. Okay, Colgate. Alright, toothpaste. I usually squeeze from here, okay? My wife usually squeeze the middle. And then, as time passes, who's gonna be my toothpaste and which one is gonna be my toothpaste? And which one is gonna be my wife's toothpaste? Okay. If you squeeze from the bottom and roll it, and you will just press here, squeeze here, and you can use keep going. But if you squeeze in the middle, and you have some toothpaste at the end, you need to just push it up for squeezing the toothpaste up, and it's annoying. Well, am I too sensitive? Maybe. Okay, but these are little tiny habits, but it annoys people. She doesn't care this. Okay? She doesn't care this. I like it, but I don't like this. Then who's gonna make the problems? That is my problem, okay? Because I don't like this. So we used to fight on those things. Then I eventually, bought new toothpaste for my wife. Problem solved. But she squeezed her toothpaste in the middle. She squeezed the middle of my toothpaste because she doesn't care, She's thinking that even though I just told her, you use your toothpaste, don't use mine, but she doesn't care. This toothpaste, there are two toothpaste, and then just squeeze this and that. Okay? Then who has a problem? I have a problem because she doesn't care. She has no problem at all with any type of squeezing, or any type of toothpaste or whatever. But that's my problem. Okay, I'm not comfortable with it. But who is making that? My wife. So I have to fight against my wife. Because I have to, pinpoint this and that, and she said it's nothing. Well, that's kind of, nothing, but it bothers me. But she doesn't respect me because she's still thinking that that is nothing. Okay? And how can I comfortable with this whenever I see this, two middle squeezed toothpaste? Okay. Do you think I'd be comfortable with those? I don't like it. I don't want to just squeeze it from the bottom, but she squeezed more. Well, problem solved can be solved when we have two different bathrooms. But unfortunately, there were no, extra bathroom for two of us, and there were only two, vanities, sink. So that's been, I know, a problem for a long time. Now kids just left our house, so I don't have any problem because she's using, her own bathroom and I'm using mine. Okay, this is good, which is better. So I don't have any problem. I don't have to clean the, whenever, you know, the the toilets and or sink or bathtubs or floor, because that's my responsibility. I mess with it, I clean it, no problems, no problems. But I don't want to just clean what she messed. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, so premarital guidance is very important. Little things can kill your partner. If you have any complaint from your partner, but you don't want to fix it, and you're gonna make your partner uncomfortable again and again and again, months, years, and your partner will not like you because of those little things. Okay, so if when both partners are not willing to fix what they have, what they got complained on, and it's gonna be a big problems for those partners later on. So premarital counseling can show couples, what kind of problems they can have later on. Well, it will not tell everything, but it can tell some types and problem types. Okay, potential or future problems they can face too. Okay. Well, absolutely and surely, most partners, they usually kiss and sleep and just living together for a while, and they got married in the United States. So they understand some differences, but they still want to get married and live together because many reasons. Because they think they love each other's, and maybe they can't find any better partners, or they think it's gonna be hard to find any better partners, or they think all girls are same or boys are same or something like that. Anyways, they're gonna get married, which is great, but still they understand this some of them, but they need some counseling so that they can see the realities so far, and they can move on after the marriage life. All right, so those things I think I just mentioned that. Premarital counseling should help couples explore the significance and implications of these vows and the covenant relationship to which they give expression. So that's the covenant relationship. That means real, like official contract. Okay, and that is more than just a regular contract because they vow each other. Okay, they vow each other. And defined in terms, they don't care what they said and what they vowed already. When they got mad, and they can just dump their marriage relationships later on anytime they want, because they are not brothers and sisters, and they are not cousins or whatever, but they are just strange people to each other, okay, with different last names. So once they got separated, they are just, strangers to each other. They are not family anymore. Their kids can be their family members, but still, after their divorce or something, there is no divorce or separation between parents and kids. Even though some parents sell their kids or just abandon or just leave or ignore their kids or whatever that's happening in every places, not only in the United States, but anyways, but still that father and, son and father and daughter or brother and sister, but, husbands and wives, they are just ex-husbands and ex-wife, and that's just nothing, okay, later on. But they vow each other, so they are supposed to keep their vow. Because they vow in front of people and in front of their God. Okay? But one out of two couples separated and divorced later on in the United States. So that is 50%. That's a lot. So, anyways, that's what's happening in this country and in many other countries. Divorce rate is growing. Okay. Defined in terms of covenant relationship, marriage cannot be regarded as temporary or private living arrangement or a marriage of convenience, or a so-called open marriage in which partners agree that each may engage in extramarital sexual relations. Steadfast love and faithfulness preclude these sort of things. So once you got married, you wanna just be loyal to it, because you vowed. So that is not emotional, that was not physical, but that is intentional. So that is your willful vow. So which means, your love is cooled down totally. So I'm gonna just leave the person. You cannot say that. It's not because of the physical. It's not because of the emotion. It's about vow and covenant relationship is intentional. You just do it with your will. Okay. So that's the difference between, I don't know, some animals are more loyal than people. So I cannot say that's the big difference between people and human beings and animals, but still, that happens. So premarital counseling has to be focused on, understanding themselves and their partners and their strengths and scratches in their relationships, including the biblical foundation like covenantal relationships. And the other thing about defining marriage in terms of a covenant relationship is that it implies that the covenant making God is in the mix. In other words, it's not just about the couple. They exchange their vows in the presence of God. That's the huge thing, You just vow in front of God, not only in front of people. People are changing. Some people who were in the wedding ceremony and they heard the vow, their children's vow, their brother's vow, their sister's vow, their friend's vow, but they encourage, those couples separation and divorce. No one says that was the covenantal relationship, so you are not supposed to break it. No matter what, you have to, recover it and renew it, refresh it, and restart it. Because of the covenant relationship, because of the covenant vow. I haven't heard anybody who can say, that's because of your covenant vow. Most people are saying, think about your kids. That's the most popular advice people give. Even though those people were in the wedding ceremony, and they heard the, covenantal vow. Okay. So later on, when you have somebody who wants to break the covenantal relationship with their husbands or wives, you better tell them you are breaking your vow. You're breaking the vow, what you did in front of people and your God. Oh my goodness, that's the strongest thing. That must be the strongest word to those couples. This has a significant implication, yes. So take God out of the occasion, and the wedding ceremony and the marriage itself become all about the couple. Their big day, their feelings for one another, their aspirations, their vows, and so on. Put God into the occasion, and we are bound to think more deeply about where marriage fits within the purpose of God. So as Christians, we have to think about God. We are Christians, I think, saying, oh, God is with us always, God is watching us, and God is taking care of us always, and they don't care, when they want to decide separation or divorce or marriage, and when they just steal and tell a lie, and when they make a fraud or something, they don't care whether God is watching us or not. That's what Christians are doing, actually. That's all experiencing, all those Christians are doing. But we need to consider that when we provide premarital counsel. In this regard, it is interesting to note that the Bible seems to have little regard for the romantic idea that tends to drive the modern wedding ceremony. Not only does the Bible have very little to say about marriage and about wedding ceremonies as such, but what it does say is often described in very functional language. Properly understood, a Christian wedding service will put marriage in the context of discipleship. Wow. But actually that is why, because they are disciples, and they are supposed to be disciples of Jesus Christ. No matter what, once you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, and you are Christian, you are children of God, and you are supposed to be, you have to be Jesus' disciple, no matter what, okay? It's not only for pastors or ministers, because all Christians are called. In Luke 9:57 to 62, when Jesus tells his would-be followers to let the dead bury the dead and to not look back, he is effectively saying that Even our most pressing family obligations and social institutions are now subordinated to the call to discipleship. It's not that they are suddenly rendered unimportant. It's just that they no longer exist in and for themselves. The claims which they make upon our lives must not now give way to and be informed by a higher allegiance, a deeper calling. Okay? So you are a Christian, your partner is a Christian, you form a family by wedding, and your discipleship is starting from your home. That is new environment, that is new ministry. Because you are not the only one, now you are together. Okay? The Christian home is meant to be a place where faith is encouraged, nurtured, and strengthened. Where husband and wife encourage one another in their respective and mutual calls to serve God with hearts, souls, and minds. So, you are Christian, and you have a Christian home, you form a Christian home, then that you are supposed to make your home, the house of God. So you're gonna encourage your all family members, not only your partners and yourselves, but your kids or your future kids or current kids, whatever. Because people usually, some people, have their babies and then they get married together. I just, led a wedding ceremony when a couple had, I think 3 or 4 years old daughter. Okay. Then what you are supposed to do? You wanna just nurture, your kids and raise your kids as good Christians, and you are supposed to do it. Because parents have responsibilities on their kids. Whether they have boys and girls and poor and rich or whatever, and then you have take whole responsibilities. Just raise your kids as Christians. That's your problem, your responsibilities. Okay. Well, that's pastor's responsibility. Yeah, pastors take responsibilities on all people. They are supposed to, nurture and care and just educate and encourage people so that they can live as God's disciples. But through in this way, love does not draw a circle around the couple, isolating them from the needs of others, turning them in upon themselves. Rather, it turns them towards the world with the generosity of spirit, confident that the love which they share is grounded in and flows from a God who so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. To this end, the Christian home is meant to be a place of hospitality, a place of welcome, echoing the hospitality of our Lord, who dined with sinners and ushered people into the kingdom without discrimination. So we have to understand what kind of homes God is expecting, okay, and how He's taking care of those homes. The other major benefit of placing marriage in the context of discipleship is that the romantic idea associated with the modern wedding ceremony is put in preservative and perspective. Yes, romance is important both on the wedding day and in marriage relationship, but it is not the most important element. The Christian wedding ceremony is a service of worship which bears witness to God's love and faithfulness, and not just to the couple's personal sentiments, feelings, and aspirations. Well, it is hard to separate those things, physical relationships, emotional relationships, and willful and official, and legal relationships. Plus spiritual relationships. Who can separate one out of others? When you have a problem on romantic relationship with your partner, do you think you can build and develop your relationships for discipleships, and you can build better and stronger spiritual relationships? No kidding. No kidding. Okay? No kidding at all. You can't. You can't. What if you have financial problem with your partner? Then do you think you can build a better spiritual relationship? No kidding. Do you think you can have a better romantic relationship with your partner? No. So I don't want to say which is more important. Those are all important, and those are just affecting to other elements. So you want to just keep better romantic relationship, better financial relationship, better physical, better emotional, better spiritual relationships. Or you got in trouble. You got in trouble. I'm pretty sure that when you have a physical problem with your partner, you're gonna have a more chance to fight on financial problem with your partner, and you have to forget the spiritual relationship with your partner, because you're not gonna pray together. You're not gonna encourage your partner with Bible verses. People usually use Bible verses for fighting efficiently on their side. Okay? People are not only Christians, most people are kind of cruel, and they just do what they want like that. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, that's the premarital guidance, premarital counseling, and we wanna just move on to the marriage counseling. Okay, marriage counseling. All right. Okay, we just started relationship counseling, and then we took care of premarital guidance, premarital counseling actually. Well, when I was in college, I took a class, premarital guidance and counseling, I think, and I just read a book, and that lecture kind of gave me, actually that lecture and the professor just opened my eyes. So I what am I supposed to do for the relationship with my girlfriend? Now she's my wife. Okay. So next year it's gonna be 30th anniversary for me and my wife. Well, there were many. I think a few or a couple of times crisis, and we failed to be separated. So we failed on separation. That's what I tell usually tell others, you know, well, sometimes it is hard to tell people that our, you know, my relationship with my wife is so successful and fruitful. Well, there were many fruits and, you know, wonderful memories, but at the same time there were, you know, pretty hard things, like, you know, wavering your boots, because even though you have fancy pants and shirts and blazers and suitcase, but still you're gonna just have a problem with your wavering your boots, and it's gonna be painful. Okay, so think about it, and then so I usually tell people I just failed on separation, I just failed on divorce or something, and my wife doesn't like that. Because she's just so straight person, and I usually just, you know, try to make, you know, usually try to crack some jokes on, you know, many. So anyways, that's what I do. Marriage counseling. Individual people can face to, you know, their personal and private crisis, okay, problems, hardships, and couples can face to lots of problems, lots of problems. If you are single, you know, living as single, you know, still have lots of problems. Financial, jobs, relationships, so many things. I understand that. If we have two or three or several girls you know and boys you know, and you're gonna go crazy soon too, because if those are just, you know, friends, still, you know, there can be some, you know, this and that, lots of problems. Marriages, couples are same. They can have lots of problems also. Okay? Hardships, relationship problems are huge. Okay? Because of physical, because of emotional, because of other extended relationships with their fathers and their mothers and their brothers and sisters. There can be so many problems, and so marriage counseling is huge. So there are some licensed counselors like the marriage and family therapists, MFT, and we can have lots of, you know, things together. Marriage sex. I got those statistics from you know, from the official government website. So that's what happening in the United States. Marriage, a higher proportion of men than women were never married, but both sexes experienced an increase in the proportion never married across age groups from 2006 and 2016. Women who divorced in the previous 12 months were more likely than recently divorced men to be in poverty. So 20% compared with 11% respectively. So that's the kind of, you know, one of the big reasons women and the wives don't want to get divorced. So sometimes they just, you know, just stuck to their marriage relationships even though they don't like it because of financial problems. I can understand that, cause wives, once they get married, especially when they have kids, their careers got, stopped. Then it is always hard to start their careers again after 1 years, 2 years, or even few months. As long as their jobs and positions are guaranteed by the company or government, and then which is great. And if not, it's hard for them to get, back to their jobs. So the problems is that because for keeping their careers, wives have to, any help or any nursery they can send their kids to. They are little. They are very little. They need, mom's hands, mom's love, mom's hug. But they are in nurseries. And one teacher, takes care of 4 infants under, I think, 16 months. And because that is a hard work, even though they have only 4 kids, it's hard work. Can you imagine, most moms experience hardships when they take care of 1 kid. But those teachers are taking care of 4 kids. Anyways, those things are kind of hard. Women who divorced in the previous, among all currently married adults in 2016, 76% of men and 77% of women were in their first marriage. Okay? Then 25, so 1 out of 4 men or women, for them, it's gonna be their second, third, fourth, or whatever marriage, okay? Among same-sex married couples in 2016, same-sex, men and men, and women and women, 82% of men and 75% of women were in their first marriage. Okay? What does that mean? We are trying to understand the marriages in the United States, what's happening in the United States, okay? 82% of men are first marriage. That means when same-sex marriage is more, has higher ratio for the same-sex LGBTQs. It's hard to say LGBTQs, but gay couples or lesbian couples, or I don't know. It can be applied to LGBTQs, all of them also. Okay. By 2014, so when a man wants to get married to a man, or women and women, if they think they just fall in love with same-sex partners, and then they get married, okay, that ratio is higher than regular. I want to say that it's regular, I don't know, That's what I learned for many years. So regular, and I'm a pastor, so regular marriage, okay, or heterosexual marriage. By 2014, over half of both men and women in their first marriage who married between 1970 and 1984 for last 15 years had at least reached their 25th anniversary. Okay? That means old people, kind of 60s, what is that? 60s, yeah. Mid 50s, now mid 50s and mid 50s and mid 50s and what? Hard to say. Between mid 50s and 70, okay? Those age groups, and half of them are keeping their marriage for 25th anniversary. Okay, so the older people tend to keep their marriage longer. All right. So what about younger men? Okay, age between 2008 and 2016, the median age at first marriage rose. So which means they are getting married, late. How to say older. Marriage was approximately 2 full years to 30 for men and 28 for women. Okay. So they used to get married. I mean, the first marriage used to be happened when men were 28 and when women were 26, but the 2 years each rose. So which means people are, getting married when they are a little bit older, like 30 and 28. That's the median age. Okay? So people don't want to get married early. Among ever married others 20 years and over, 34% of women and 33% of men had ever been divorced. Okay? So when people got married more, around 20 years at least, so 1/3% of couple got divorced. The percentage ever divorced was highest, about 43%, for those of both sexes, ages 50-64. Okay? Now, between 54 and 64, 43% couples got divorced. But when they have marriage more than 20 years, 1/3. So the more they lived, the less they divorced. Okay? Among ever married others 20 years and over, 14% of women had ever been widowed, compared with 6% of men. Okay? So that means when couples have been married 20 years, husbands died earlier than wives. Yet among people 75 years and over, that's age, 58% of women and 28% of men had ever been widowed. Okay? So about half differences. Okay, that's what happening in the United States. Just sex and marriage. All right. Some statistics, like what happened in New Zealand or something, does suggest that disturbingly high proportion of married couples fail to navigate their way through this myriad of factors and influences, and often by the time they realize the importance of doing so, it is already too late. Holding to the adage that prevention is always better than cure, marriage enrichment programs and marriage counseling can be beneficial in helping couples to renegotiate their relationship, to manage transitions from one phase of their relationship to the next, to reflect and enhance basic relationship skills, and to address problems before they become insurmountable. Okay. Yeah, it's not based on the statistics we took a look from the government website, but in general, many studies shows that couples can get lots of benefits from marriage enrichment, so-called ME, or marriage counselors. Yeah, definitely, because when you find one-to-one, okay, no referees, you're gonna go nasty, no matter what. Okay, I know, I do. Okay. We all know, we can go nasty. Okay, we can go nasty ways when we don't have referees. I think counselors are like referees. They are not encouraging fighting, but they can make those people. They are more kind of with guys. They they're not judges or referees actually, but they can guide couples so that they can understand what they are doing and what their partners are doing. So they want to just understand what's going on. So it's kind of a chance that they can see what I'm doing, what's happening to my wife and husbands, and what's happening in our relationships. That's a chance. But most people don't want to have marriage counseling or whatever. Recently, I just watched a movie, highlights, and Mary Streep and who was it? Mary Streep and Jeremy Irons, I think. Yeah, Jeremy Irons. And they, especially the wife, realized that there is they are old couple, no kids, but both have, I think, both career, man and woman, I think. They happen to see they need some counseling. So Mary Streep, I forgot the real name on the movie, and Mary Streep applied marriage counseling in Canada. So they had to fly to Canada from the United States, and she just spent I think $3,000 or $4,000 for intensive counseling for a week. And Jeremy Irons was naughty, and Well, people usually don't want to get marriage counseling or counseling because they think they are right, or they know they are wrong, but they don't want to be told that they are wrong. Okay, so they don't want to have counseling no matter what. Okay, and they feel shame when they got counseling. That's true because, for example, pastors are not supposed to provide counseling so much. Sometimes, it's okay for the pastors, but the couples or church members, they feel shame after the counseling because they opened everything to their pastor and they know their pastor knows everything about, especially the most private, the most naughty, most dirty things, complicated things. Their pastors know, so they feel shame, because they usually leave their churches. So pastors don't want to give counseling to those couples. So I think it's better to refer them to other pastors or something when when they interview with those couples first, and they say it's gonna be okay with but the pay problems, because people usually don't pay to their pastors counseling fees like $230, $300 per hour. They don't want to, and even they don't have to, so they like it, but anyways, they usually leave because of the shame. There are general advice for relationship and marriage counseling. I want to just take up just the first one and do the rest of them and take a look at the divorce counseling next week, and that's the last one. The first one is this. Remember, there are always two sides to a story. Which means you want to listen from husbands and wives too. Okay? One story has happened, but husband's story is different with wife's story, always. Okay? That doesn't mean that both sides are equally true or valid, particularly if one party has a vested interest in portraying something in a particular way, but it does mean that you should seek to hear both perspectives. Don't jump to conclusions or act prematurely on the basis of hearing one side only. So you better listen to both sides. If you don't hear anything from both sides, you're not gonna understand everything you have to know. Then it's going to be very difficult to provide counseling for the couple. So try your best to be in neutral position when you provide counseling, especially for the married couples. Okay, men counselor tend to understand husbands better. Okay, so not always, but in most cases. So, but you wanna just listen to wives also, so you can find the best way. You can provide a concept. I think that's it. So we're gonna just continue from the 2 minutes.